Well, that's right. Welcome in, welcome back, everybody, to What Are Your Takeaways from the Cold Blue and Gold edition of the Always Irish Show. Forgive me, my voice is struggling. It's early Sunday morning, and my voice hasn't recovered from. I just talk a lot, so I end up talking all day to everybody. So forgive me, my voice is a little messed up. Happy to be here. Happy to have you all here. Obviously, you can find the program on YouTube. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate that as well. Notifications on. You and I both know why. That way you're alerted every time a new episode drops. You don't want to miss it. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish Rat. Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want me. You can locate me. Call in line. 312-900-8815. Tell Johnny all you heard and seen after, what was it, 92nd annual Blue and Gold game, I believe. Fighting Irish War USA Today. Type it into Google. Read about Notre Dame football from yours truly and the rest of our great Notre Dame staff, okay? So, welcome in, everybody. First things first, it was great being in town. It was great meeting people. It was great seeing people I haven't seen in a while. Thank you sincerely to everybody who stopped by and said hi for a minute, stayed all day. A lot of people brought stuff to the party, threw in some food, threw a bottle of liquor on there, put a six-pack of beer in the coolers. All of that, everybody, I appreciate it. There is none of this show or none of this is happening without your engagement. That's my whole thing is you guys. So it was really, really great. And it's funny because the way this goes is I got my flag and I'm in an area and whatever, and I see people walk up. And then I could see him kind of double look over at me, like making sure it's me. And then the first thing we do is it's like, what's your screen name, man? So like when it's people that are in the chat every day, it's like, well, what's your screen name? And then they tell you the name and then it all connects and you remember what they said and everything. There was a lot of that. So that was really, really enjoyable. So that's what this is all about. There is no show without you guys. The tailgate was fun. And now people are already talking about doing one for an actual game next year. Now that we kind of have some experience with one and can learn from that. And it probably would not be one of the big games because I don't want to miss all the Always Irish analytics by being in town for a whole weekend for Ohio State or something. Then I'm not doing any coverage. So that hurts. Maybe one of the earlier home games. So stay tuned on that in the summer. Maybe we'll figure it out. Along that vein, very, very special thank you to Pat, Adam, Craig, Rudy, all of the people like helping set up, my father. I mean, everybody that came early to help set this all up and make it happen. Again, I couldn't do it all alone. So having family help and some really loyal, lifelong friends, I really appreciate it. So thank you guys for all your support. Weather, it was awesome. I listen, I admit I was never cold yesterday, but I also admit I was drinking Miller Lite since what would have been 8:00 a.m. my time. And I just don't think it bothered me, to be honest, by that time. I got the green jacket a little wet, but it doesn't bother me. Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Yesterday we experienced it all. You got to be a certain age to get that reference. Little James Taylor there for you. But we had it all. Sunshine where it was like fine, rain, sleet, snow, whatever. Everybody that was there just made the most of it. You're in Notre Dame for the day. To hell with it. It's too late. Roll with it, baby. I had a great time, man. I just love meeting people and running my mouth about Notre Dame. That's all I want to do. So yesterday was beautiful. Now, regarding the game, I already see the discussions on Twitter. Are we taking what we saw in the blue and gold game too literally? Is it too small of a sample size? Should we put more weight on the blue and gold game and that public atmosphere than than whatever they saw in the private scrimmage that was more ones against ones and not split teams. Like, this is the deal with blue and gold. You get into this dynamic of how much you saw behind the scenes that we weren't able to see, and then you only see this little bit of blue and gold. I already see those discussions. Example of that. I see some people saying Buckner is still great, and maybe it just wasn't his day yesterday, but that he looked good in all the other practices and lit it up in the private scrimmage, the one-on-ones that we didn't see last week. So I have people saying overreacting to what you saw from Buckner that you didn't like in the blue and gold game isn't fair. And then I see others saying he's not even good enough to be the backup at this point. Is it Angeli or what? That's a wide range. There, I saw people after this game still talking about Buckner having a chance to be the starter. I think that's in a minority opinion, but I still saw it out there after this game. And then all the way to the other extreme of, I don't even think he looks like a second string guy out there. Where's the reality? Where's the reality? Taking what you've seen, what you heard. They had all those weeks of spring camp. We weren't seeing anything but little tiny clips. What does that full body of work look like for everybody versus just that window we saw yesterday? Like, there's a lot there, but that's the challenge with the spring game every year for every team. You go through that, right? What is fair for me to extract and pull out of this? And what just might be recency bias? We only see that window. I don't know the answer to that. But in lieu of not knowing the exact answer, because it's not like we didn't see all the behind the scenes practices. So forgive me that I got to go with what I see. Like, if you're told a bunch of stuff and then you see a bunch of stuff, what are you more likely to believe? In your own mind, as a person who thinks, I'm more likely to believe what I see, not what I'm told happened, especially in a dynamic in a football situation where you're not sure that all the elements involved. There could be angles of why they want to say Buckner looks a lot better than what it felt like he looked like yesterday. There are angles. Maybe not wanting the guy to leave. I don't know if that's true or not, but this is all me saying, what are you going to believe? What you were told but didn't see. And I have questions about why I'm being told. There's more narratives like in play here than just surface level with this stuff. Not wanting that guy to leave, top of mind. Versus what I see. Okay, so that's a struggle. But I got people telling me, you guys are overreacted. You saw one game. You didn't see all the other practices. Couldn't you also argue, though, on the other end, isn't that the point of the blue and gold game, is that it is public? And the point of that is for you to rise in that occasion with the lights on and people there and to do better than you do in practice to show that off? Like, I realized the value of the ones versus one scrimmage before blue and gold that none of us saw. I realized that's like more their real scrimmage before they break these team ups with the draft concept. But I got to go with what I see, man. I'm sorry. I believe what I see more than what I read from people that I know have angles involved. So let's get into this. Number one, the quarterbacks. Hartman looked like what you want a year 6 guy to look like. If you ask yourself, we're going into this game, I got a year 6 guy. What would I expect that quarterback to look like with 6 years of experience? 13 is 16, 189, 2 touchdowns, and 1 running. Yep, that's what I want. Thank you. That's what I want. I didn't expect him to be 13 to 16. Like, I didn't expect that high of a completion percentage in this game. I was going to be happy just to see us throw it around and try and do some action. I was very pleased with that. Very pleased with that. But if it's like, what would you expect a guy in his 6th year to perform like in one of these games? That's it. That's the stat line. That's the ideal stat line. And it isn't just the stats, because we all realize blue and gold. We've talked about it. It's weird, mixed teams, you can't hit the quarterback. All of these discussions are under the understanding that these circumstances are very unique and not the most like level way to look at everything. We all understand that. But we're working with what we did see within that structure. It isn't just like the numbers, 13 to 16, almost 200 yards. It isn't just that. It's more about the command of the offense, having a flow and a rhythm to it, quick progressions, tight, accurate throws in windows where only the offensive guy can get it or nobody's getting it. Not like we're going up tempo, end of the half, 1 minute left, let's go. I don't mean that kind of like tempo and pace and rhythm and flow. I just mean that it just felt like that guy was just one play was over and he knew exactly what we were doing the next play. And it just kind of, there was a flow. There's a rhythm to offense that Notre Dame's barely ever has. You know what I mean when an offense has flow and rhythm and one play leads into the next and you go down the field with some energy and some pop and each play's gaining yards. And it's just smooth in and out of these plays. And it just kind of works. I felt that yesterday. So for me, it isn't just the 13 for 16 numbers. It's that ease of command of getting in and out of things. Just kind of, I just felt like this is a guy who's commanding this offense. This is not one guy with 10 other ones out there. He's the guy driving this engine, and it's humming along pretty smooth down the field. Notre Dame's been missing that feeling for a long time, including when Ian Book was there, folks. Missing that for a long time. And so it looked like an established guy who knows what the hell's going on. And that's progress for us. I'm sorry. I know that's a low bar, but that's progress. And it was good to see passing and running. That was really good as well. And Notre Dame should be able to do both this year, which is a nice change up from last year of run the ball, throw it to Mayer, run the ball. This is going to be nice. And again, it's embarrassing that I have to speak in these ways, but it's where we're coming from. The bar's pretty low as far as what would count in progress with the passing game for Notre Dame. Now, Buckner, it struggle bus. I'm sorry. Just, it was blocky. It was chunky. Just a little off kilter. It was so obvious Hartman's rhythm and flow and the ease of the offense and how easy everything just looked and worked and felt. And then Buckner's, it's just kind of choppy and it doesn't have that. And we're behind the sticks or a throws behind a guy. He's still either too quick or not patient enough with progressions. I don't know. But I still got people telling me looks great all other times. I don't know what to make of it, man. I was looking through Twitter really trying to gauge the overall sentiment here. There's a lot of people telling me, oh, bad afternoon or whatever, but it looked good all the other time. Dude, you weren't there. All those private practices. I'm sorry, man, but I like seeing things with my own eyes more than just believing what I'm hearing behind the scenes. I just do. That's my comfort level. I like to see it. So, but I still have people telling me that. And Freeman said after the game, this is still a quarterback competition. In my opinion, it's starting to feel more and more like they want to do anything they can to keep that guy in the building. That's what it feels like to me. And it's I'm happy and disappointed with this. Hartman looked better than I was expecting him to look. Learning the playbook, being a little behind the iffy weather, he looked sharper and better than I even thought. Okay. but I wanted and expected Buckner to be a little better than it looked yesterday. It'd be better for us to have two guys that I felt the way I do about Hartman after yesterday, and one, I guess, is what I'm saying. So I'm thrilled because I didn't expect that kind of efficiency out of Hartman. I really liked it. But Buckner, I honestly expected a little bit more flow. It wasn't very flowy. It wasn't very flowy. And again, I get it. Mixed up teams, and maybe the O-line was bad, not protecting them. Again, save your breath. I'm counting all that in the mix here. I'm counting all of that in the mix here. How about this? Jaden Greathouse, 11 catches for 118 in a spring game as an early enrollee. Yes, please, sir. May I have another? Absolutely loved it. Fantastic. Ran around out there like it's his third blue and gold game. Love it. 100%. Need it. 100%. Jaden Thomas. Not going to be a burner, but I'm starting to find him to be supremely reliable. Valuable to have, a possession guy who knows where to be and is going to make the play. And I think that could be a very useful piece in Notre Dame's wide receiver room that's trying to kind of redevelop and reform their own identity within this system and this new structure and all that. Jabron Payne, we talked about we want guys to flash. You don't necessarily expect to flash. Look really good. Notre Dame's running back group's going to be really good again. It's a beautiful thing. Look at it this way. You got a guy like Payne who's out there, looks like he belongs. And then he could kind of have that spot that Tyree had. And you're not losing Tyree because he's playing another position where we do need help. And it helps that he's a more established upper class guy. I like that. Like it. I like that a lot. But Payne flashed, and it was beautiful to see the running back groups in fantastic spot. Ziegler, Zinner, Ford popped to me. I like seeing Bowen out there. I like all that. The O-line, Blue, had issues all day, it seemed, getting kind of pushed around. That didn't help Buckner. I get that. But I did notice on the offensive line that line had some issues. Again, it's extremely hard to judge some of this line play when it's mixed lines with backups and starters and all that, not your main unit. That's very hard. And again, should be considered when you're looking at this game and these stats and all that. And I'm trying to be fair in I'm trying to take out the blue and goldness with the mixed teams and no touching the quarterback and a running clock and all of that and all the different personnel. I'm trying to kind of judge things in spite of all that, like keeping it in mind, but still seeing what I can extract that's valuable, understanding all them circumstances aren't the normal ones. More on defense. Junior, Ford, Anye behind Mills, Patello, Cross, Nana. Jean-Baptiste in there too. I'm starting to warm up a little bit to the potential of this group. However, check with me after Ohio State. Like, I'm sorry, it's still a question mark to me till I see you hold up against them. That's it. That's the fairest I could be. I'm going to worry about that defensive front until I see him hold up against Ohio State. What about Tennessee State? No, not interested. Oh, Central Michigan, John, we ran all over. I'm not interested in that. Show me what happens against Ohio State. Then I'll start looking at it. Okay? Big takeaways here. The offense should take a big jump forward. A big jump forward. It would be really, really nice to see for once in my hairline's existence a real offense at Notre Dame. That means you can run the ball and pass it. Unbelievable, isn't it? That you could do both with efficiency, meaning that a defense couldn't just go all in to stop one thing you could do because it's the only thing you could do. Welcome to real life football for everybody else in America except for us. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. About 15 years. The offense should take a jump forward. And if it doesn't, somebody needs to be fired. Defense, I do feel a little better about it. I do think there's more athleticism here than I probably originally thought. However, until you prove it, you didn't prove it yet. Unknowns are neutrals. They're not positives. Unknowns are neutrals until I know one way or the other which way the needle's going. Football neutrals can't be counted as positives. You're going to set yourself up for a problem, Jack. So let me see it. Let me see it. So I just think that's the biggest storyline. The offense is going to take a big jump forward. Younger guys can play. Great outs looks like he could play right away and fit in. There's going to be rookie mistakes. But then again, you got to look at where Notre Dame's coming from. Okay, not in a good place at wide receiver. I don't think you could be that picky about needing perfection when you just needed anybody with legs and arms to get open and make a play last year and have a quarterback that could get it over the defense and throw it there. So I think that's my biggest takeaway. The offense should be able to stretch you deep, stretch you over the middle of the field, and power run the ball if you want. And that is a good day, my friend. That is accomplishing a lot for Notre Dame. And I just think that's important as the takeaway because it's the number one thing that's held Notre Dame back lately, in my opinion, is not having a modern offense that can compete. And every time we got in a playoff scenario or whatever, you ended up seeing that the offense couldn't do diddly poo. Needs to be over, okay? We need to be past that. So I would like to know what else you guys think. What are your big takeaways? Who flashed? What did you like from the game? What did you not like from the game? Like, I'm open to all of that, and the call-in shows this week are going to be in that line of thought too. So I would love to hear what you guys think. Am I missing something or looking at this the wrong way? Let me know. But it's always a good day to be in South Bend when Notre Dame plays. It was great seeing everybody. Let me know what you guys think.